strike out all the charges and release Nnamdi Kanu. A new world order has taken into this case of Nnamdi Kanu. By name, General Pùțïn and Xi Jinping of China. Don't wade into this matter. I said it the other day that Nnamdi Kanu now have turned to be a global citizen. Some people, even if you see the comment here, if you see how they are lambasting me, some said too much talk, need to check. My brother, I don't give information that I don't have evidence about, or I don't go about propagating because I want to get views or likes. I know the world we are living into is so ignominious. It is very hard now for people to believe the truth because the government which they believe on have been lying to them every now and then. But let's just see this news, and you can as well say what you want to say. I don't force you to believe or for you to agree with me. But the fact still remains that Nnamdi Kanu is now a global citizen, whether you like it or not. Well, another headline here is called, it said, Geopolitics. Nigeria's inadequacies birthed indigenous people of Biafra because they have not been doing well. Let me not waste much of your time, or rather take much of your time, because whatever time I spend here is not a waste. It is a step towards the liberation of our people. Well, as you are watching, please help me or kindly drop your opinion at the comment section of this video. The world and many Nigerians are expecting and hoping that Nigerian government will establish a glaring evidence against Nnamdi Kanu, probably where he paid for ammunition and direct ESN to murder innocent people, or establish a glaring evidence where he was planning to overthrow any Nigerian president. In absence of this comes the world new order that have given immediate attention to the case of Nnamdi Kanu, the likes of Pùțïn, and the likes of Xi Jinping of China are now showing a very, very glaring concern over this matter, because you don't pass be careful. Unfortunately, to their disappointment, the Nigerian government closed their cases without any reasonable or convincing evidence against the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. I know most of those supporting the illegal incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu will be highly disappointed that in all these years of Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration, no convincing evidence was presented to the court, apart from Nnamdi Kanu's past broadcasts and what DSS read on Nigeria Vanguard newspaper. Those of you that wanted Nnamdi Kanu to be killed, I hope you can now see that you were supporting the murder of an innocent man. Now that the world and the new world order would attest with us that Nnamdi Kanu is a political prisoner. He is only being persecuted because of his Biafra political opinion, not because of any crime. Even the prosecuting counsel, who confidently hope that DSS would provide overwhelming evidence against Nnamdi Kanu, was disappointed when DSS was quoting Vanguard of 2,000 human heads publication and tendering news publication as evidence. Hogwash, misplaced priority. If you were observant following the court proceedings, you will understand that even the prosecuting counsel also was disappointed and have seen themselves fighting an innocent man. You can see they closed the case with annoyance because DSS failed to present and establish facts of their accusation against Nnamdi Kanu beyond every reasonable doubt. Although no case submission will be filed by the defendant counsel, but the presiding judge should not wait until that is done. He should strike out the case and free Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally, and also instruct Nigerian government to pay him compensation for the violation of his fundamental human rights. Nnamdi Kanu is a political prisoner. Here comes the end of this submission. We are going to go to the other submission, but before then, let me just chip in one or two things here. In the whole world, Nigerian government or Nigerian government or the animal kingdom they call a country is the only country that will arrest you and then begin to search for evidence. EFCC have went to court 1,000 times 1,000 times. I mean 1,000 by 1,000 times. They all lose the case because they have no evidence. Just you hear somebody said, this one is a Uber. Now they don't swoop into action, arrest, take pictures, take videos and post. Going to court, you find out that they have made mockery of their own self. The same thing with DSS. Because they are working for the politicians, they are no more independent on their own. They can't have decisions on their own, except the old fools that call themselves political leaders direct them on what to do. That's why you see EFCC and DSS are just hunting anybody where they see whatever you talk. And to the extent that DSS self, a high level office like that, because DSS in Nigeria just like FBI in US, is now settling land disputes. That is a banana republic, a misplaced priority, and that is a very, very heavy sign that is a collapsed country, a failed nation. That is what that zone represents. They hold Nnamdi Kanu for over 10 years. They couldn't provide any substantiated, any substantial evidence, at least to nail him down. 10 good years. God have mercy. Is that how a country should be managed? A country that has been managed by fools. A country that has been leading by common primary school dropout. A country where PhD holders, professors are rigging election for persons who don't even attend school. They tell you he writing an exam from home. Geopolitics, Nigeria's inadequacies birthed the indigenous people of Biafra. And that is exactly the point we are trying to make here. Geopolitics is the term used in describing the impact politics and international relations exert on Earth's geography. In other words, it is a measure of how factors such as locations, climate, topography, natural resources, and borders influence the power, foreign policy, and interactions between countries and the continents. But for a layman, it is the struggle for control of land, territories, maritime space, natural resources like oil and gas or water, the strategic locations like shipping lanes. The first in organic geopolitics against Africa by a group of geographically located countries was the Commission of Slave Trade. It objectively condemned Africans to a cheap labor to work the plantations and the commodity to be transacted as industrialization loomed large and slavery became economically unsustainable. The Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885 was hatched, and the primary aim was the balkanization of Africa into colonies for extractive minerals for export. After World War II, a wave of Pan-Africanism swept across Africa. To pacify it, the colonialists left but socially engineered a fractured independent African countries. The CIA and M16 surgically murdered nationalists. African leaders ousted them through a bloody coup or imposed a self-hating Stockholm syndrome, displaying leader groomed to be pro-West. In extreme instances, a combination of these and economically sabotaging war are used. In the case of Nigeria, is an emerging economic powerhouse. The socially engineered divisions was anchored on religious and tribal acrimony. The inadequate formation of one Nigeria between the predominantly Christian South and predominantly Muslim North, despite their cultural diversity, was a cheap geopolitical point made intentionally. Nigeria was never created to work for the indigenous people, but rather to be a source of cheap raw materials. It was a trade-off between invaders. One needed a land to dwell, while the other wanted unfettered access to minerals. It it was a win-win for them. Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, made Biafrans aware of the term geopolitics. It was during his broadcast on Radio Biafra that he explained in the most simple form how the Gulf of Guinea, Beach of Biafra, is strategic as a world trade route, how the pharmaceutical and food industrial complex vested in genetically modified organisms like Bayer and Monsanto use the Fulani terrorist herdsmen to kill natural or organic farmers, how Biafra genocidal war, militancy and terrorism are geopolitical cards played for controlling Biafra oil and gas. IPOB, through her Biafra education awareness, is informing Biafrans that it is not enough to draw a religious conclusion emotionally just because the Fulani terrorists shout Allahu Akbar. Granted, Islam is not wanted in our land. It has to be said that even though Christians are the most butchered and brutalized, indigenous Nupe and Hausa Muslims in Niger, Zamfara, and Sokoto states, for example, are not spared. This will tell you that Fulani terrorist herdsmen do not have a religion but use Islam as a cover. After all, the AES countries are indigenous Muslims, yet the Fulani terrorist herdsmen are socially engineered for geopolitical gains by external forces against those countries. Therefore, Biafrans must begin to look beyond religion, but instead observe motive tethered on geopolitics. The simple message of IPOB is that one Nigeria is a geopolitical talking point. One Nigeria is irredeemably fractured, socially retrogressive, and culturally repulsive. IPOB is uncompromisingly insisting that the only way out of the quagmire enveloping the indigenous peoples trapped in the burial ground called One Nigeria is a total dissolution through referendum. One Nigeria is unsalvageable, and an inadequacy that gave birth to IPOB. This message is from the Family Writers Press International, bringing to you this very, very important information. Moving forward, as I was saying, Tuji Bello reportedly kills 44 security personnel in Zamfara ambush. This Bello Tunji is Christopher Musa's younger brother. Notorious bandit kingpin Bello Tunji had reportedly carried out a deadly ambush near Shinkafe, local government area of Zamfara state, leaving no fewer than 44 security operatives dead, including 40 members of the Joint Task Force, JTF, and 4 Nigerian soldiers. Details of the attack were shared via a post on X, formerly Twitter, by a prominent security analyst known as Bakastain. Bello Tunji reportedly killed 40 JTF members and 4 soldiers near Shinkafi local government, burning a military vehicle, Bakastain wrote on Tuesday. According to the post, the assailants also set fire to a military vehicle during the coordinated ambush, which caught security forces off guard. In a further chilling development, Tuji is said to have released a video showing the execution of a former bandit identified as Bashare Maneya, who was allegedly killed for collaborating with security agencies after abandoning his life of crime. The video, which circulated on social media platforms, shows Tuji accusing Maneya of becoming an informant and betraying fellow bandits. Nigerian news understand that the Nigerian military has declared Bello Tunji wanted for numerous attacks in the country. You declare Bello Tunji wanted. What about Adamu Alieru, the most wanted and most wanted criminal and terrorist? The other day, the security operatives are busy having a meeting with him and all his boys. They have declared Bello Tunji wanted for how many years now? Christopher Musa always tell us that Bello Turji have gone hiding, he have gone into hole. He cannot come out again because he know that they are looking for him. But some people don't know that Bello Turji is a junior brother to Christopher Musa. Go and verify this thing I'm telling you. Bello Turji is a junior brother to Christopher Musa. Why can't they take the military off guard? Whereby 85 to 90% of the military now that where they attack are all terrorists recruited into the army. All in the name of repentant Boko Haram. So tell me, why can't they catch them off guard? Because they have an intel. They have people who are giving them information. They have people who are calling them when to attack, how to attack, where to operate, and what time to operate. And you tell me that Biafrans should just fold their arms and belong to this useless thing that they call a country. God forbid bad thing. Anyway, my wonderful people, I beg you, if you are watching this video and you never share it, my brother, I don't know what you are waiting for. We are moving forward, and that is the way we stand now. So have a nice day. May the good Lord continue to bless us all. Share, like, comment, and keep subscribing for more interesting videos. They come back again. Tènśiøn.